Hello and welcome to the final lab, Lab 10, which deals in static VLANs. So at this point, I imagine you know what a VLAN is, so let's go ahead and jump into it and we'll show you how to apply it. It's been a little while since I've taken this class, so I haven't looked at any of this in advance, so let's have some fun. I think we'll have some mistakes along the way, but I'll show you how to get past them. And actually this switch isn't going to do. If we take a look at the topology, we need a switch with a gigabit link, which this has none. So let's delete that. And let's go ahead and add all the devices, and then we'll talk about what we'll be setting up. Once we have that, this is kind of like in the initial labs that we did, just a basic local office setup. And let's go ahead and change the module out on this. It does not have gigabit by default. Let's take it out and let's put one in. Let's go ahead and link them all up. With this one, you will definitely want to pay attention to which links they should be plugged into. If not, you will have a difficult time. Especially with VLANs, it all has to do what's plugged into what. So gigabit. The only thing that I'll make note of is we just plugged it into gigabit 1/1. In the topology, it mentions to plug it into gigabit 0/1, which we do not have, so we will have to adjust to that. In the physical labs, they won't have that issue. This one. Let's see, this one and this one. Now that we have them all hooked up, let's go ahead and space these out. And I want to stick us some notes. So PC1 is on the 192.168. Dot 2.1. Dot 1.1. Dot. Actually, we'll name this in a unique way. We will call this one FAO/0.1, FAO/0.2, FAO/0. So as the book talks about, one of the nice things is, you may have just one physical link going into this gateway, but you can actually split that up into sub interfaces. So instead of just assigning IP to the interface as one, you could split it up into multiples, which is what you'll want to do when you use VLANs. Because by default, in the switch, the VLANs do not touch. You cannot jump from one VLAN to a second in just the switch itself. You need to get some kind of routing involved, and that's when sub-interfaces come into play. Let's take a look. And the next thing we'll want to do, let's go ahead and assign the IPs on these guys to get all the basic stuff out of the way. 192.168.1.1, 192.168. This gateway is going to be .1.62. Actually, we'll stick to what the lab talks about. We'll use the subnet mask .192 instead. If you do all of these subnetting, you'll find out that this is one of the highest ones within this mask. So we'll leave that as the gateway. 192.168.192.168.62. Two dot 192.168.2.62. Go ahead and add some quick notes. We'll fill these in as we go, but it's a good idea anytime you deal with VLANs, kind of use some notation. If you attempt to keep all this stuff in mentally, you won't have a good time. Life is tough as it is. We don't need to complicate things. Okay, once we have that set up, let's see. We'll go ahead, we'll set this one up next. Dialog, we want to set this up manually, so let's go enable. We'll go into conft. I'm going to change the host name on this guy. Once we've done that, let's go ahead and face the way you set up a sub interface is same way that you usually do it, except you add decimal notation. So we want to set up 0.1. Oh, did not like that. We left off. That'll do it. Now, it's an excellent idea to show you how to do this. So this is the options that we have on this sub interface. You know, we will definitely want to, off the bat, assign the IP, which is 192.168.1.62 on this guy. Subnet mask was 192. And it looks like I flip-flopped the steps. So one of the things you got to do if you want to do sub-interface routing between VLANs is you need to change the encapsulation, because this is kind of like a trunk link in a sense, routing between them. So let's do the question again. We want to change the encapsulation, so encap, and we want to encapsulate as .1q, which is the 802.1q VLAN specification. So we'll encapsulate as that. And we want to encapsulate VLAN 1 because subinterface 0.1, the IP that we'll be assigning to it, is the gateway for the VLAN 1. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we'll be able to assign an IP to it just fine. We'll do a no shut. That'll make it active. Let's go ahead and we'll exit out of this one. We need to config the second one. 0/0.2. This is the sub interface for the VLAN 2 gateway. Now we know we need to set encapsulation immediately. So encapsulation.1q, and we want to tag it with VLAN ID 2 because this is VLAN 2. We'll assign an IP, which is 192.168.2.62. Subnet mask 192. We'll go ahead and do a no shut on this. We'll exit out of that. And once again, you'll see I use the up and down keys quite a bit. I don't like typing a whole lot, so I like being as efficient as possible. So we just went ahead and changed this command from point 2 to this one because we want to do the next VLAN. So we will encap as a 802.1q, and we want to assign this one to this VLAN. Once we've done that, we can set an IP to this sub interface, which is 192.168.1.3.62. Type in the mask. Oh, little typos like that will get you, so you want to pay attention. That looks good. We'll do a no shut. That looks all bueno, so let's go ahead and get out of that. That's about all we need to set up on that guy. Go ahead and exit, show IP. So just in advance, we don't got nothing, so we'll keep that off to the side. Now that we've set up all the IPs for these sub interfaces, let's go ahead and jump into the switch. We need to set up all the VLANs, and we need to assign the ports that will be associated with those VLANs. So let's go into enable, go into config mode. If you want to change, now we'll leave the host name, that's fine. Let's see, let me take a look at the lab. Just off the bat, let's go back. Show VLAN. So this is the VLAN that we have at the moment. We only have VLAN 1, and by default it has just about all of them assigned to it. So what we want to do, let's see what we want to name them. So VLAN 2 is the finance. This one is the office. This one doesn't have a name, but VLAN 1 we'll give it some kind of menial name so we know what it is. It'll help make sense of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up the VLANs. Let's go into conft. We'll do VLAN. We want to set up VLAN. We'll begin with VLAN 1. We'll give this guy a name, so we want to give this one, you know, some kind of meaningful name. That seems to be what this is, so won't let us change the name, so that's besides the point. We'll go ahead and exit out of that. Let's go into VLAN 2. We'll give this guy a name. This one is the finance. We'll do a no shutdown on this guy. We'll go ahead and exit. And let's go ahead and do a VLAN, the last one. Give this guy a name, which is 192. Oops, it is Office VLAN. Go ahead and exit out of that. Let's go ahead and assign some IPs to those VLANs. So interface VLAN 1 has an IP of, let's see, 192.168.1.61. It's kind of incomplete. Does want a mask. And we need to do a no shut. So VLAN 1 is now up. Let's go ahead and get out of VLAN 1. Let's go into VLAN 2, which is the finance VLAN. Do a no shut. We'll assign this guy an IP as well. Wouldn't get out of that one. And the last one, VLAN. Shut. Exit out of that one. Now that we have all the VLANs set up, let's just let's show what we got up to this point. So we got the VLAN, the default VLAN. We can change that name. Usually, ideally, we'll just kind of leave VLAN 1 to the management VLAN. We should have made a VLAN 2, which was, that could have been the server's VLAN. We could have changed the name then. And then, we shouldn't have used VLAN 1, but just to keep it simple, we'll keep it like that. So at least now we've made them all, we've assigned IPs, and we've got active VLANs. So now all that we have to do now is, let's see, we need to assign, we'll leave gigabit 1/1 inside of VLAN 1 because that's this link, but we need to change this one, which was, let's see, FAO/1. We need to assign this guy to VLAN, to the office VLAN. And then we need to change this guy into the finance VLAN. So the way that you do that, we'll go into config mode. We'll go into the one that we want to change, which is FAO/1. We can change a lot of things. We want to do the switch port, and we want to set it as access, and we want it to access VLAN. This one was VLAN 3, so we'll set it as that. Once we've done that one, we'll go ahead and exit out of that. Now we need to change this guy, which was FAO/2. This one was VLAN 2. Okie doke, so let's go ahead and let's exit all the way back to privileged exec mode. Let's show the VLANs again. And now we have exactly what we want. Inside of VLAN 1, which is this one, we have gigabit, we have all of them, but the biggest one is gigabit 1/1. We need this to be in VLAN 1. And then in VLAN 2, which is finance, we needed FAO/2, which is this guy. So that's good. And then in the office VLAN, we needed that one assigned to FAO/1, which was this guy. So now that we have them all set up, let's go ahead and close out of this. Let's check this guy out. This one is plugged into FA. We have one last thing we need to do. We need to set this link we need to change it. So config, I want to do a switch port mode. I'm going to set that one up as a trunk. We want to do a no shut on that one. Give that a minute to catch up. And let's test it out. Let's see if we can kind of ping some gateways. Let's ping the gateway to the VLAN 2, which was 192.168.2.62. See if we get anything. Nope, it ain't having it. It doesn't like something. Let's double check. Six. I don't see anything off the top of my head. Let's go ahead and show this config file. All of those look okay. Go into this guy. We'll also save the lab. Don't want to lose anything. Up, that's what it is. Let's go ahead and conf t. Hey, what was it? I have to go back a level. VLAN 1. VLAN database. Actually, we'll get out of this. This used to be the old method. We'll do enable. Go into config mode. It's been a while since I've done it. Let's go ahead and let's look it up. Cisco VLAN. Well, that one looks okay. Maybe we'll just do it the old method. VLAN database, VLAN. We'll add VLAN 1. And we'll add a VLAN 2. Add the last VLAN. We'll go ahead and exit. That looks okay. Oh, we seem to be missing something else now. Let's give this a shot. Let's go into all these. Once we've saved all the config files, let's save the lab. I think I had this issue a long time ago. Let's go ahead and imagine like we unplugged all the devices and we'll plug them back in. Here, so we can ping the VLAN. If we can ping the gateway once again. Nope, doesn't like it. Let's check something else. Go into VLAN 1. That one seems to be okay. Let's add us a default gateway, which is 192.168.1. We'll do 6.2. No bueno. Let's see. Let's double check this. So VLAN 1 is administratively down. Again. And I think that's what it was. Kind of silly. Let's test it out anyways. No, it doesn't like it, but we got something going on now. Let's see, show exit. VLAN 1 is still down. Ah, now we got it. We got the management VLAN up, so sometimes it doesn't help to do these labs as fast as you can. You leave silly stuff off like that. Now that we got full connectivity, let's go ahead and let's ping this guy. So we can ping the gateway to the 2.2. So this is the VLAN 2 gateway, which is this sub interface. We can ping that one okay. Let's go ahead and jump to this one. Ping 192.168.3.62. That one's a-okay as expected, as should this one be. Ping 192.168.1.62. That one's a-okay as well. Now the big ticket is, can we ping between LANs? So let's imagine this. Let's go ahead and let's mess things up a little bit. Oops, we'll cancel that. Let's imagine we delete this link. So this switch it doesn't even have a gateway. You can't do any kind of routing on this LAN. Let's see if we can ping between VLANs. Ping. This is PC2. Let's ping this guy. Let's say we wanted to access some files. So we'll ping 168.1.1. VLANs by default, it's not supposed to allow connectivity. It's like a switch within a switch. It's isolated. So, it should time out each time that it asks. Now let's go ahead and set this back up. Let's plug something in between FAOO and the trunk link that we had set up. give it a while to connect again, and we'll simulate that same exact test. Now that we have routing on a stick, which allows you to route between VLANs, let's test it again. Go ahead and do it again. Takes it a little bit to connect, you know. Sometimes it's a little bit slow, but it looks like we got it. So we can successfully ping between VLAN 2 and VLAN 1 now that we have that sub-interface routing available. Let's see if we can ping this VLAN. So let's ping .3.1, which is this machine. And this was this machine. So essentially what's going on is anytime we send a packet between VLANs, let's say it's from this machine, it sends the ping to the switch. The switch, you know, it can't find this machine. Not on VLAN 2 anyways. So the default gateway is to send it to this guy. This guy knows, hey, I know that subnet. This subnet happens to be this sub-interface, and it happens to be a specific VLAN. So it sends it back to the switch on VLAN 3, and then it submits it to this PC. So that's a nifty way of going about things. So now that we have it all set up, that about does it. Let's see if we need to talk about anything else. Took us a little bit, but at least now you know how to kind of troubleshoot things when they don't go as planned, and seldomly do things go as planned. Last thing I suppose is we'll copy the config. Same thing with this one. Exit, exit. That one's good. So we got full connectivity now. We have multiple VLANs. Now you know how to isolate using VLANs, but you also know how to diminish some of that isolation in a managed way by using routing on a stick. So, you know, sometimes it's good to have isolated VLANs, but sometimes you do need connectivity between them. So now you know how to accomplish that.